School dress codes have become extremely common in high schools throughout the U.S. ever since the Columbine shooting in 1999. According to The Guardian, last accessed April 30th, 2016, the list of banned clothing items in high schools seems to get longer every year, and the more restrictive dress codes get, the angrier students grow. Dress codes in high schools are beginning to affect the attitudes of not only the students, but also parents and teachers. My high school implemented a fairly strict dress code 3 years ago, requiring students to wear either a spirit shirt or a plain polo with no logos and solid pants or shorts with no design. Although some argue that school dress codes encourage a better learning environment and also promote safety in schools across the country, what they do not realize is that standardized dress codes are decreasing a student's sense of individuality, causing worse attendance percentages and making students dread coming to school. Dress codes are causing problems in high schools across the country and doing more harm than good. School boards need to reevaluate their stance on strict dress code and its prison-like effect on students. One very controversial banned dress code item right now are leggings or yoga pants. School administrators are saying that these particular pants are too distracting for other students, and by other students they mean boys. As one girl says in response to a Huffington Post interview last accessed April 30th, 2016, "Too distracting for boys is giving us the impression that we should be guilty for what guys do." Everyone can agree that there are some clothing items that are definitely unacceptable, but making girls feel guilty because they are just trying to be comfortable is not the right approach. Another common problem, especially for girls, is that lots of girls have different body types, so one item considered acceptable when one girl wears it might not be acceptable when worn by a different girl. And that is simply unfair. Students are feeling oppressed by the rigorous rules of dress. Unfairness is a major problem with school dress codes, and it is one that can be easily fixed if people would take the time to work out the issues. Girls are targeted harder than boys in most cases, which also proves that dress code can be sexist. If schools are all about giving students an equal chance and run off of the principle "no student left behind," then why do they discriminate between the dress code of a male and female and target the females harder? Not only are dress codes oppressive, they are also pricey. One of the main reasons that schools claim to implement dress code is because they say it is less expensive and it makes everyone equal. In a perfect world, this may be true, but we do not live in a perfect world. Since my school has implemented a dress code, I can honestly say that it is more expensive to go shopping for school clothes because local businesses know what is in dress code guidelines, and they raise the prices on these particular clothes. Not to mention, it is harder to find clothes in dress code. One of the biggest lies about dress code is when someone says that dress code makes all students equal. According to Ellen Kate from Everyday Magazine, last accessed April 30th, 2016, cell phones, shoes, and jewelry still point out social distinctions, as well as where kids live and what kind of car they drive. With all of these problems, there has to be something that we can do to fix the negative impacts of dress code, and there is. According to the FindLaw website, last accessed on April 30th, 2016, the first thing you should do is obtain a copy of your school's dress code policy. The next step is to review the handbook and find out what you think is unfair or unethical about the dress code policy at your school. As stated on the Pro Youth Pages website, last accessed April 30th, 2016, the best way to get the changes we need is to start with the most friendly tactics before getting confrontational. Therefore, the first way you should go about advocating change is to politely ask school administrators for it. This is a serious problem that needs to be fixed, so it is important to put together a well-organized plan of action. Overall, it is time for change.